guys, Clyde here. This is Clyde Plays. Today we have the Khabarovsk, the Tier 10 Soviet destroyer, recently moved from the tech tree to the armory as a special ship you can get for coal. We've got, of course, an exciting battle for you, and following that, we're going to go over my Khabarovsk build, my captain build, my upgrades, everything that I've put on this ship so that it runs the way that I like it to. Of course, take a look at that, maybe check out some other creators and decide if this is how you want to assemble your Khabarovsk for optimum play that matches your playstyle. Without further ado, let's get into the action. I don't really want to go into B. Now I really don't want to go in there. Oh geez, can you put these torps a little closer together, guy? Yes, come in for your hug, Montana. Let's go. You close now? I'm just bad at English. That's most of my... Oh, and there's a lot of things I'm bad at. I don't really want to start listing them all, but... This is actually not looking good for Yamato, is it? Maybe he's got a secondary Yamato build or something. I've taken my secondary Yamato build out before. It was, or not Yamato, Musashi. I don't have a Yamato yet. But. So maybe the build isn't for secondaries, but I was within secondary range. Look, get off my back. It's such a lie. Don't build that boat for secondaries. Nakimov. Nakimov has the cool camo. Oh, that camo looks cool. Holland. Who's over there? It's Holland. No! Why? You killed my CV. I need that guy to exact my vengeance. Oh my gosh. He's turning away. My depth perception. It's not only bad in real life, it's bad in video games. Can we get those bat guns rotated, please? Por favor. There you go. Gosh. Can we make that Holland about 2 times as big as it is so I can hit it? Good lord. Now it's very critical that I turn towards the Holland because he's already sent 90-kilometer, 100-kilometer torpedoes at me.
Perfect.
Kilometers per hour, that is. Or knots, excuse me. Kill secured. I totally nicked that kill on the Yamato, didn't I? I like showed up right as they were putting the finishing touches. I was like, hey, is it cool if I take the credit for this one, you guys? And they said no, but I did it anyway. Not classy, but... I really like shooting destroyers in this boat, though. I've only had 22,000 damage. For me, average in the Khaba is not an amazing figure. It's right there in the yellow average zone of about 57 or 58,000 if we round up just a tiny little bit. So that's yellow. It's not an epic number. I'm not an instructor. Sorry, dudes. My Kraken's waiting, so I gotta go. But if you could, you know, just like give me the kills there, bro, that'd be dope. Shots for the Ohio over here. We're gonna try to mop this dude up. Ohio's got nothing on me when he's not looking, so we can deal with that. Shots from Ohio. I gotta watch out for daring torpedoes as well.
Perfect.
Hey, there's daring now. Let's talk, daring, about your TPS reports. I'm actually gonna, well, no, I should stay on daring. We need to kill the DD. He's more valuable. And all you have to do is make him scared, and I don't even care if I hit him. I just need somebody to. Well done. That's an F11 from my team. Go, go, go. I'm gonna actually try to get turned around here. 33K on the clock. So we gotta, if we double this, that'll be pushing my average a little bit, right? That's a good number. It's hard for me to push my average on this boat because I've got over 200 battles in the Khaba because it's stupid and I love it. Even if it's a broken, sad shell of its former self. I still love this boat so much. I need to lower my aim. I'm shooting way over that guy like a dork. So as I'm driving this way, I'm keeping the shots on Conqueror. I want to look for what's the next ship I'm gonna shoot. I don't really care that much about Conqueror. He's just the target that's within range right now. And I'm trying to make sure I can be up here to support. I don't like my Montana being in front of me. I'm uncomfortable with this arrangement. But it'll have to do. For the moment, I'm going to lose range on Conqueror in about a kilometer. My range is 14.8 with the legendary mod. Not getting any fires on this guy, but it doesn't matter. Even if I did, Conk would just heal them all back. We're just farming. This is just farming damage. Demois. Demois is a good Khabarovsk antidote. If he's paying attention, he's going to be in trouble. Get a couple of hits on him before he goes behind the island. What used to be better about Khaba, asks Ice Cube. If you go back into the old days, it used to have, before they had the legendary mods, it had a range similar to what it has with legendary for free. You didn't have to buy a legendary mod or unlock it with a mission or anything. The rudder shift used to be better, and the torpedoes used to go 8 kilometers instead of 6. They might have been 10s. I think they were only 8s, though. So it got a huge handling nerf, it got a range nerf, and it got a torpedo nerf. And the handling nerf was the worst one, because you could get the range back with legendary, with the leg mod, right? But you couldn't get the rudder shift back to what it was like, which meant you couldn't dodge as well. There was also a period of time, gosh, do they still have citadels on this ship? Now I can't remember. Somebody in chat would know. But there was also a period of time, and I think that might still be now, that this ship had a citadel, and I think it still does, question mark? Maybe somebody can fill me in. Where you can take big damage from battleships. It used to be that all destroyers had citadels, and then they removed those citadels from every ship except for, I think, this ship and Haragumo. And so that wasn't so much a nerf as it was a buff to everything except for this in the destroyer category. So Khaba used to be terrifying, and if you look at the numbers on WoW's numbers, this is the number one or number 2 like win rate and damage ship if you only look at tech tree boats. It's been surpassed now. It used to be that for a very long time. It's been surpassed now by Kleber and Elbing for different attributes there. But it still ranks very high above a lot of ships that everyone says are better. And some of those games are, you know, from back in the old days when this ship used to be more terrifying and more powerful. And some of those games are still from today because players still know how to wring a lot of damage and a lot of capability out of it. Again, I don't think of I'm not an expert at Khaba. I'm just a fanboy, right? So I've got my 44,000 damage this match and I'm feeling pretty strong. I haven't even been using my speed boost. I still have all my speed boost. This is gonna hurt from the conch if he hits me. Which he won't. I deserved to have gotten hit there a minute ago. Trying to back up so I can spot that ship again. The shell velocity out of this boat is very, very, very fast. And so you can't really shoot over islands that well. And of course, it's hard to do that when you're not spotting the ship. I don't know if Midway can... Is Midway AFK? No, he's flying airplanes. He's just letting me shoot him. Well, this is kind of uninteresting, but I'll take the damage. Just in case Conqueror decides to step up and eat those torps, I will send them. Yeah, free is the best price to pay for damage.
Башня главного калибра выведена из строя. Неполадки устранены.
Actually, maybe I should have kept the APs in the tubes. Those might have been better. Go, torpedoes, go faster. Oh man, is it time? Can we have? Do you guys still have room? Do you think you're gonna be able to have some more pizza? If we get another pizza, would you guys eat some? That would be really great. We did it! Sorry, that was a real douchey way to introduce the pizza party animation. Hey guys, if there's more pizza around, would you eat some? I don't care. I like Khaba, and I like having good games in Khaba. It makes me joyful. I don't think I'm gonna get my Kraken though. CV got away from me. Somebody else got the kill. If I could have had the kill there, that would have been epic. Now I've got 37 seconds till torpedoes, but and maybe if this Zao gets dumped, that's the only way the game will last long enough. Is Hindenburg's gonna have to kill the Zao? Do it, buddy. Thank you. You've given me a chance at a Kraken, and I can't tell you how joyful I am of this. Let's go. Unless Zao gets the kill here, but I think he just torpedoed the beach. Poor K, Zao. Poor K. Let's go, little Khaba. Your nuclear emotes are fantastic. Oh no! Oh no, he's right here. I will accept this fate. Are we gonna get both in one match? Did we do it? We did. Perfect. And that means we get this one. 137,440 matches. I'm behind on things over here. We've got Walkowski, thanks for the follow. Rackstar, and is that Lockhelm? Thank you for the follow as well, Lock. Good match. I'm taking the top guy trophy there today. 5 kills. My goodness. Thank you very much for that game, Wargaming. You are legendary. 36 airplanes by that dude in the Zao. What? And Scotta lived to tell the tale. You're our only guy that lived. I'm so glad that me dying didn't throw the game. That would have been When it comes to my Khaba build, we're going to take a look at the captain build as well as the upgrades and things. Let's first start with the equipment on this ship. Khaba has 6 slots, and this is how I've configured mine. Now, of course, there are many ways to configure your Khabarovsk, and this is just one of them. I think there's a long storied debate about the difference between a repair party Khaba and a smoke generator Khaba. Smoke Khaba has been making a stronger and stronger appearance in the game lately, although I am from the old school, the old guard, who's always run repair party, and I really just can't switch personally. I can't imagine running this ship without the repair party. That said, I've heard of a lot of very high skill players who love running smoke, so I wanted to talk about those consumables first. So I run repair party there, and we'll talk about how we modified some of this as well. Main armaments modification is really critical for a ship like Khaba. It's an 8-gun destroyer, and I want to keep those guns working all the time, so I want them to be survivable. I want them to repair quickly, and so I do this. The torpedoes are less valuable, I should say, because you don't use them a ton, although, as you just saw, I did use them in this last battle. Torpedo tube survivability and repair time is kind of throwing away some of this slot. If you wanted to look at something else in here, these days, something like magazine modification might be a reasonable pick. It does reduce your magazine detonation by 70%, which, with the increased difficulty of getting detonation flags these days, might be worth something to some players. But that would probably be the only other option I would consider. That said, I haven't changed mine. I'm still sticking with main armaments modification 1. In second slot, I run a premium, or the coal, engine boost modification. You could go for engine room protection if you were trying to save the coal, but for a tier 10 ship, I don't mind investing a little bit of coal in some of the special upgrades you can get in the armory. These cost about 18,000 coal, and you do get a coupon for them every so often. I recommend using that coupon whenever it comes up, because if you wind up with a lot of ships, these are a great deal. And in this case, it keeps my my turbo booster, my engine boost, consumable going for an extra 30%. If we take a look at that, that puts me over 2 minutes of action time on the engine boost, which is great. This is a ship you want to be utilizing high speed on, and so being able to do high speed for a longer period of time is better. I also go with the aiming systems modification in slot 3. I do that because of the dispersion primarily, although the torpedo tube traverse speed, not particularly useful. Secondary firing range, not particularly useful. Secondary dispersion, not particularly useful. So again, I'm doing this primarily, or I should say almost exclusively for the dispersion. If you wanted to go with the traverse speed, I suppose you could consider it, but if we take a look at the artillery over here, it's a 9-second rotation time without that upgrade mounted. So if you're getting 15%, I think it is, on the upgrade for turret rotation, it's not that big of a deal. AA defense, meh. I mean, you saw at the beginning of the battle, we shot down some airplanes, but the defense is already 61. It's actually pretty reasonable for a destroyer at this tier. So I didn't feel like that was worth doing either. Torpedoes are not Khabarovsk's strong suit, and I don't think the smoke generator, because I don't run it, is that good of a deal. However, if you were running a smoke Khaba build, this is probably at least worth investigating before you turn your nose up at it. For me, it's aiming systems modification all day long, in particular because we're going to extend the range of those main battery guns long enough that that is going to start to matter. In third slot, I go with steering gears modification. Before the steering gears nerf that this ship suffered a long time ago, it had a great rudder shift. Now it's 8.9 seconds after I install the steering gears modification. So obviously it's a real pig if you don't have that installed. In my mind, there's nothing else to go with here. Propulsion, who cares? You're going to be running at full speed all the time, so I don't really think that does you a world of good. A world of good. Damage control, sure, whatever, but you've got hull repair, you've got DCP for that, and it's not like a long-running DCP. It's available every 40 seconds. This is a destroyer, not a battleship, not a cruiser, not whatever. So for me, it's steering gears all day long. In slot 5, I run the legendary upgrade, the unique upgrade, Master Fire Controller Control Director. This gives me a 10% firing range buff and a 6% reload buff. It does reduce my consumable action time by 20 seconds. That's all of these items. It means that they're going to last, or not 20 seconds, I'm sorry, 20%. That means this is going to last 20% less. That's why it's 22.4 instead of 28 seconds like it would be if I were not running the legendary upgrade. And the same is true here for what we've got with engine boost. You'd actually have a longer engine boost time if you didn't use the legendary upgrade. The trouble is you'd be stuck with a very short gun range. Mine is 14.8. This is going to put you at 13.5 without the legendary upgrade. And that is just not far enough away from danger to make the Khabarovsk fun to play. In my mind, the legendary upgrade Khabarovsk is the only way to go. And unfortunately, for the folks who didn't get this back when the legendary upgrade missions were available, and that's been a few years now, the only way to get this is to do research points, the Research Bureau, and basically it's about 20,000 research points, a little bit less than that. And so it's quite expensive, but I wouldn't run this ship any other way. If I had to not run it, I'd probably run concealment system, I suppose. This would reduce your detectability another 10%. Right now I'm at 8.7. 10% down there puts you at like 7.9, I think, is the way the math would work out for you there. So you'd be a lot stealthier, but you'd have to contend with that shorter main battery range. It's a 10% concealment buff instead of the 10% range buff, so it's a little bit, the gap between concealment and firing range doesn't quite come down an equal number there. But anyhow, long story short, legendary module all day long. Last slot, I run main battery modification 3. This increases my reload speed or decreases my reload time by 12% and causes a penalty to the main battery traverse speed of 13%. I showed you guys earlier in this that it's already 9 seconds for the main battery rotation. Oops, let me hover here. And so 9 seconds is pretty quick, especially for a Soviet DD. A lot of these are 18 or even 25 seconds. So the penalty there doesn't seem to cost me too much. If I wasn't going for this, no, I would just go for main battery mod 3. There's really not another choice here. If you could choose a range modification here, that would be tempting, but you can't. And so at this point, there's not, secondaries and AA are just not valuable enough. For the captain perks, this is how I have built my Khaba out. With a lot of these gunboat destroyers, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just build this little shape over here. So I've got preventative maintenance to make sure all my modules are going to keep running. Last stand, which means even if my modules do get knocked out, I can continue to drive around, as well as survivability expert. This is an extra 3,500 hit points, which for a tier 10 destroyer is another salvo from a cruiser battleship. If you guys have watched this channel or hung out with me on Twitch before, you've heard me use that phrase. That survivability expert is great on destroyers pretty much tier 8, 9, or 10. Superintendent is good. The big reason I go for this, honestly, is the hull repair. I get an extra charge of hull repair. And if we go back to this, we can see that it's 22 seconds at 156 hit points per second. So, you know, that's going to be 3,000, maybe 3,300, 3,400 hit points every time you use that, as long as you're using it optimally, when you can get a full benefit out of it. So that's worth something. That's worth almost as much as Survivability Expert. It also gives you an extra couple of the speed boost usages, or one extra speed boost usage, I should say. And that's worth something in this boat too, especially if you're getting to where you're comfortable staying alive, your survivability is high. Finally, I go with Concealment Expert. Some people might not go with this, and I think this could be one that you flipped. Maybe you want to go with something like Fearless Brawler instead. You're always going to have your guns going, and you might as well get that main battery reload time. I think this is probably a worthwhile alternative if you go with Fearless Brawler. However, with the Khaba, I'm always feeling like I'm getting outspotted by everything. So having just a tiny modicum of concealment makes me feel a little bit better. That said, I think Fearless Brawler is a reasonable pick. It's just not the one that I have on my ship. I also run Grease the Gears here. I think I bought this one because I had a spare point and I wanted to throw it out there. I don't really think Incoming Fire Alert, you know when you're getting shot at. You're getting shot at all the time. I don't think Gun Feeder does you that good when your reload is sub 4 seconds. And of course, torpedoes are just not a critical piece of the Khabarovsk's armament. So for me, Liquidator was not a choice. So I threw that extra point on Grease the Gears. I also go with Main Battery and AA Specialist. This saves you 5% on reload time and buffs your AA by 10% of their continuous damage. Finally, of course, the Main Battery firing range here, plus 20%, and a bonus 15% damage to AA explosions. Those flak puffs do a little bit more in this configuration. All in all, that puts my main battery at a 3.9 second reload time with a 9-second rotation time, 117 meters of maximum dispersion, and a max range of 14.8. At 14.8, with your speed boost on, you can be putting 8 guns of HE shells or AP shells out there every 3.9 seconds, and you're very difficult to hit at that speed. Very quick ship. All in all, 900 meters per second shells too. I wanted to call that out. 22 millimeters of pen with the HE shells. Pretty great as far as that's concerned. My build gives you an 8.7 second detectability by sea, a 45.2 knot top speed. Of course, when you hit your speed boost modifier or module, you'll go a little bit faster there, another 8%. And that is my build. So thanks a ton for watching, you guys. I hope that you had a really great time there, and I hope you'll come back and hang out with us again on the channel. Tell your friends about this video if you found it useful, and again, have a great day, take care of each other, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.